Everybody, we're going to do a little bit of 1/2-inch conduit, rigid conduit threading. I take a look at this here threader that we have on this, get a little closer. See how this is set for 3/4 of an inch? 3/4 of an inch, that's a little bit too much for the likes of me. We're going to be doing some 1/2 inch, so I'm going to loosen this up. I'm going to just slide this over to 1/2 inch. See how those, oh, that's the wrong one. 3/4, oh, that's 1.5 inches. Here we go, here we go. I can't see. That's way too small.
Way too small.
Way.
Right there.
1.5 inches.
That's 1.5 inches.
Is that
in the middle? That's
there's
right
no
there.
way.
Yeah. That's
No.
right there.
Okay, this will be right. So I'm going to get this line so that it's lined up. And I'm going to tighten this up. A lot of people, they like to over tighten this pretty bad. I like to give it a little bit of a tap. I'm not trying to ruin the threads or anything. And when this little line lines up, when it's like this, it'll also line up like that, okay? So this here is closed. I'm going to set it like this before I go to thread. Set it like this when I want to take it off of there. This here is the reamer. It's got a little notch in this in 2 places, so when I get ready to ream this, I want to make sure that I have it look a little bit better than that. Since we're going to be using this for conduit in the electrical class, we don't want to mess up our wires when we go to pull the wires in this conduit, okay? So I'm just going to cut this end off first, and I'll kind of thread this up, and then I'll do the measurement parts that we're going to do for the rest of the class, but I'm not going to put that on this video. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get this lined up with where I want it to go. It's got a little foot switch down here that I can make it run. Make sure that it's in the forward position before I go to run this, because when I go to put the threads on, it'll work better if I have it going forward, okay? And then I just... putting pressure on this, letting it spin. It looks like it took that off. I unspin that a little bit, let that come down. I push this to the inside. Ream this out. Put kind of a lot of pressure on that. And I look at this and it looks good. I'll put that up, get this ready to go. This has an automatic oiler so that it keeps my dies nice and cool and lubricated. Put kind of a lot of pressure on this so that it gets started. And once it's going, I can let off. When this gets done, I want the end of that conduit to be just after that last little thread thing. I don't let off the foot pedal. Instead, I open that up and travel it away, okay? If I let off the foot pedal and I let it stop, it has a tendency to kind of ruin those a little bit, and it leaves 4 little hang-up Barbie dumb little things on there. I like to clean this up a little bit before I take it out. I have this whole machine at a little bit of an angle so that the oil doesn't build up in there and go down to the other end and drain out the other side and fill the whole conduit or pipe up with crap, okay? And then this little slide hammer, just go like that to make it let go. Loosen this up just ever so slightly. I'm gonna get my measurement on here. It doesn't really matter too much if this is a little bit buggered on the outside like this, because it was in those jaws or whatever wrencher somebody had on there. I'm gonna go 6 inches on this. I'm gonna make a mark. I like to have the mark facing me a little bit. Makes it really easy to get it lined up with that little roller wheel that's gonna cut this. And then I snug it up usually before I push on this pedal. Oh, this is looking good. I'd like like to point out that this piece of equipment is really dangerous. The reason I like to point that out, if you have a bent piece of conduit, if I've already put a 90 or something on the back side and I push this button and that goes around and it hits on the ground, it can make this threader jump around and do something that we used to call the threader dance, which is bad. People can get hurt or killed with that. This thing has so much torque, it'll spin your arm all the way off. So we're going to pay attention to everybody that's doing this today so that they can all get credit for doing this assignment, and make sure that nobody gets hurt while they're doing it. Thanks.